6 tips how to give constructive feedback. Whether you're a very experienced manager or a new manager, your ability to give feedback to your staff is massively important to your success as a manager or a leader and the success of your department and your company. So let's jump right in. My name is Alastair McTavish. I'm an internationally certified soft skills trainer. I've delivered training to thousands of people in more than a dozen countries around the world. This channel aims to help you to take your soft skills, communication skills, and leadership skills to the next level. So feedback, constructive feedback, sometimes called critical or negative feedback. I much prefer the term constructive feedback rather than negative feedback, as negative makes it sound like it's bad. Now, managers or leaders should give regular feedback. In future videos, I'm going to talk about how to conduct an annual appraisal. However, feedback should be regular and timely. But many managers are just scared to give feedback. They think, I'm too busy, or I'm worried about offending my staff, so I avoid it. But this is wrong. So hopefully these 6 tips are going to be useful for you. So number 1, first is to sell the benefit of feedback to your employees. So if you want to give some sort of feedback, you can say, look, I benefited in the past from feedback from my previous managers. It helped me. One of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates, obviously the founder of Microsoft, said we all need feedback to help us improve. We all need feedback to help us improve. So sell the benefits of feedback to your employees before you have a feedback conversation. So tip number 1 to give constructive, negative, or developmental feedback is sell the benefits of feedback. Tip number 2 is build rapport with your team. Build rapport before you actually give constructive feedback. If you notice some sort of mistake or oversight from one of your team and you say, why did you do this? You made a mistake in this report. The chances are that's going to get the backup of your employee. So instead of jumping in with some sort of criticism, some sort of negative feedback, you could say, how are things going? How was your weekend? How was your holiday to Italy? A great way to build rapport is remembering these small details that the other person told you. It shows you care, because you took the time to listen and you took the time to remember what they told you. So before having a feedback conversation, build rapport. Tip number 2, build rapport. Now tip number 3 to give constructive feedback is ask permission. Sometimes we give feedback, we give suggestions that people don't want them. Have we had that before? Yes. People often say that husbands like to give solutions to their wives when wives or girlfriends often just want to be listened to. They don't want to be told, or they don't want suggestions from their husband or boyfriend. They just want to be listened to. They just want to have a rant sometimes. So instead of just giving feedback without asking, make sure you ask permission. Now, how can you do this? Very simply enough, you could say, thank you very much for the report that you sent me. Are you happy for me to give you some feedback? Hopefully they will say yes. And after they say yes, it will make them feel a lot more relaxed and more inclined to take that feedback on board rather than push back and be defensive. It's rather like sales. Good salespeople, they ask open questions to uncover customers' needs. Then they summarize those needs back and say, so what you're looking for is ABC. Is that right? And normally customers say yes. If you can get a yes from a potential customer at the beginning of a conversation, it's a lot more chance you can get a yes at the end of a conversation. It doesn't guarantee a sale, but it increases the chances. So tip number 3, ask permission before giving constructive or critical or negative feedback. Tip number 4, when giving feedback, is give specific examples. Don't just say, you always do this. People say you did this. Give specific examples. For example, it could be, I observed in the recent sales meeting when we asked everybody to brainstorm and come up with new strategies to grow our sales, that you actually stayed quiet. And that gave me the impression that you were not engaged in the meeting. You were not interested in helping out. This is a specific example. So tip number 4, give specific examples. Tip number 5, when giving feedback. A lot of you have heard, I'm sure have heard of the so-called feedback sandwich, or sandwich as other people call it. This is saying something positive, something good, something to improve, and then something good again. In my opinion, this is not very effective because often the important part, the constructive feedback, gets lost in the middle. In my opinion, it's when giving feedback, you can give 1 or 2 points of positive reinforcement, good things, then 1 or 2 areas to improve. It could be as many as 3, but do not give too many. Do not give too many. Don't only say the good things. Don't only say the areas to improve. I think 1 or 2 things, good things, 1 or 2 areas to improve is very manageable, and it's something that your employees can actually take action on and do them. It's a little bit like making New Year's resolutions. If you make 20 New Year's resolutions, great. What are the chances you're actually going to implement them? Very limited. If you make 2 or 3 New Year's resolutions, it's much more realistic. So tip number 5, give constructive feedback, give 1 or 2, say 1 or 2 positive things the employee has done, 1 or 2 areas the employee can improve. Tip number 6, after you give constructive feedback, make sure you leave the time to listen to the employee. What are their thoughts? What are their perspectives? Do they agree? Do they disagree with the feedback? Maybe they'll tell you something that you didn't realize you were not aware of. And this two-way communication can make your feedback conversations far more effective and much, much better for both you, the manager or leader, and for your employee. So to summarize, 6 tips to give constructive feedback to your employees. Number 1, firstly, sell the benefits why feedback is important. Feedback is a gift. Number 2, take the time to build rapport with your employee at the start of the feedback conversation. Number 3, ask permission to give feedback. Are you happy for me to give you some feedback? Tip number 4, give specific examples of the things that you'd like them to improve. Tip number 5, give 1 or 2 positive things that they've done and mention 1 or 2 positive things they need to improve. Yeah, this is much more manageable. And finally, tip number 6, be sure to ask their thoughts. What are their thoughts on your feedback? Make sure it's a 2-way conversation rather than just a 1-way conversation. I hope you found this video useful. What I'd love to know is, out of these 6 tips, which one are you going to try and use a bit more of in your future feedback conversations? Are there any other strategies you use to give feedback? If you could share those down below in the comments. And if you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. Got a lot more videos coming to help you take your soft skills, communication skills, and leadership skills to the next level. See you on the next one.